The reality is that most fish will die before they reach their adult size in the aquarium. Let's take a look at why. There are several reasons behind this. Now, please don't confuse this with fish that just grow big like your Oscars and your Plecos. These fish are going to get big. There's a difference there. There's a fine line, and I want you to understand what I'm talking about here. Fish like your Oscars and Plecos, if you put them in an aquarium, they're going to get big. That's what they do. It's in their genes. Okay, the fish I'm talking about, the difference I'm trying to explain here is you take a Pleco, you take an Oscar from the wild, they're going to be much bigger than they are in captivity in the aquarium. Okay, but they're still going to get big. Don't confuse this video subject with that. Fish do not grow to the size of their tanks. This is just an old myth that just simply isn't true. The most notable examples of this myth is with goldfish. The reason behind this, the main reason behind this is that when fish are in an aquarium, they're always releasing waste. From breathing, they're releasing ammonia, from pooping, ammonia, which if it builds up, if you don't take those out, can cause harm. Another thing that's built up in these aquariums from these fish is hormones. Fish are always releasing hormones, especially in high stress situations. If this hormone builds up, what this will do, in addition to the other waste, if not taken care of, it stunts their growth. Another reason is the fish could be deformed. Okay, but mostly it's due to the waste buildup and the hormones building up, and then you as a fish keeper, depending on what kind of fish keeper you are, you could be contributing to this issue. If we don't do our due diligence, and we don't research, and we don't learn, and we don't understand how aquariums work and how fish work, and in addition to not doing our regular maintenance with our water changes and cleaning our filters periodically, all this contributes to, one, the fish is poisoning itself, and you could be poisoning the fish as well by not doing your due diligence in tank husbandry. Now, even if you do your tank husbandry and you take care of your water changes and you do your weekly, bi-weekly, monthly maintenance and your water parameters are good, the fish is still poisoning in itself as time goes on. Hormones cannot be removed from the water with a filter or water flow. They have to physically be removed, aka water changes. So it is very important to do these things for the life and the life expectancy of your fish. Goldfish can live up 20-25 years. There's cases of some of these fish living up to 40 to 45 years. But that is in good conditions with great maintenance and tank husbandry. So why does it seem like the fish is growing to the size of the tank they're in? You had it in a 29-gallon tank and you moved it to a 75-gallon tank and it grew bigger. I seen it. It happened. I have seen this. I have got fish that happened to this to me. Goldfish, plecos. And one time I thought the same thing. You're not going to tell me that the fish doesn't grow to the size of the tank because I've seen it. Well, what you seen was this. When you had the fish in a smaller tank, these hormones were building up, okay, and poisoning themselves with their own waste. It stunts their growth. Then when you took it out of that tank and you put it into a bigger tank, you noticed a considerable growth change. He got bigger, right? That's because you took him out of that polluted, toxic environment and you put him in a much bigger tank where that wasn't such an issue. So he was able to grow a little bit more. But make no mistake, once he catches up to that space, this process is just going to start all over again and you're going to see stunted growth. The reality is that fish do not grow to the size of their tank. And even with good tank husbandry and doing your weekly, bi-weekly, monthly water changes and cleaning them filters out, this is still going to happen. Most fish will not grow to their adult size in the aquarium, with the exception of a few species, and I'm still researching that. But there are some species out there that will, but I'm assuming that's going to be like your smaller fish, like your guppies and your neon tetras and things like this, because you see about people keeping self-sustainable, truly natural ecosystem tanks where there is no filter. They do not do water change. They use dirted tanks capped with sand and it's packed with a bunch of plants. That's great when you have smaller fish. But when you have larger fish like I keep, like these Oscars over here, my large goldfish, I got big fish all over the place. They produce a lot more waste. They produce a lot more of this hormone. And unless you can provide them a 10,000 gallon, 100,000 gallon tank in your home, which most of us cannot, they're never really going to reach their adult size. And even then, once they get so big, depending on the fish species, once they catch up to that space, it's going to happen. And it's not just in the aquarium. This happens out in nature. There are the same thing occurs in small natural ponds that are overpopulated with fish. Their growth gets stunted because there's just not enough water column, not enough environment, and too much load on the biofilter. Too much waste is being produced than that area can handle. In the aquarium hobby, when that happens, your tank is going to crash because your ammonias are going to rise up, then your nitrites are going to rise up, both of which is very toxic to fish, and it's going to, if it doesn't kill them, it's going to cause other issues like stunting their growth and diseases of all sorts and types. It's very important that we do our water changes and our maintenance on our aquariums if you love your fish. And even then, I doubt that you're going to see these fish reach their adult size. You'd be surprised how big some fish get. Don't be fooled. Everything you look online, you're going to look up a fish. For example, how big do Oranda goldfish get? Okay. Oh, they can get up to 8, 9, 10 inches. Well, I got one over here that's almost as big as these Oscars, and they're approaching 12, 13 feet, or 12, 13 inches. Right. So anything you look up online, take with a grain of salt, because every situation is different. I always preach that on my channel. Every tank, every situation is going to be different, and your fish are different. So everything is going to be different. Your growth rate, the water parameters, these are just guidelines. But when I make videos like this, it's all about facts. But that's it. Thanks for stopping by and watching this video. Fish do not grow to the size of their tank. It is a myth. It is an old myth, and it's because of the reasons discussed before. So, let me know in the comments below if you liked it. If you have any questions or want me to do any more facts on a certain species of fish, let me know. I take requests. Have a good day.